If you are still looking for a perfect Christmas gift for the best person in the world, I mean yourself, Pelikan is here to help you since they're about to release 6 new puzzles and it will be their last release in 2023. Date and time of the release at the end of the video. And I'll start with the padlock puzzle. It was designed by Tibor Miklos. It is a new name for Pelikan puzzles. The padlock puzzle was made using 2 different types of wood, Venge and Limba. This puzzle, it looks like a padlock. It has 8 parts. There are 6, kind of look like a button. So I guess it's a combination lock. There are 6 buttons. There is a latch right here and the frame, and you have to remove all the parts from the frame and then put them back inside. It is not extremely difficult puzzle. It takes only 27 moves to take it apart and disassemble it. Quite logical, not too hard to solve, so it will be great puzzle not only for experienced puzzlers but also for beginners. And once the puzzle is disassembled, you have to assemble it back together, and this part won't be as terribly difficult as well, so it is completely possible to solve this puzzle both ways without using any help. The name of the next puzzle is Kuchenstuk, which translates to English as piece of cake, and it really looks like a piece of cake with a small cherry on top. This puzzle was designed by Tyler Hudson. I guess it's a new name for Pelikan as well, correct me if I'm wrong. This puzzle was made from 4 different types of wood, Venge, maple, padlock and cherry. That's funny, the cherry wood was used to make a cherry on top of the cake. This puzzle has 4 parts, 3 layers of the cake, and the first piece is the frame that holds all parts together. This puzzle requires 31 steps to solve it, to take it apart, and 31 more steps to assemble it back together, but I'm sure it will take you at least 1000 steps to solve the puzzle, to find the solution, since it is really tricky but very interesting to solve. Since all 3 parts, they have a unique shape, they are all connected together, and there is a piece inside of the frame that goes from top layer to the bottom layer that holds all 3 parts inside of the frame. And the most interesting part is that this puzzle feels like a maze. When you solve it, you can see there are cutouts in each piece, and when you move the parts, the maze is changing all the time. Like you move one piece, the maze changed its shape. Then you move another piece, the maze changed its shape again, and so on. And when you are very close to solving the puzzle, you see that all 3 parts are coming out like a lot, and you feel like it's not enough just for one little step. You got stuck really hard and you spent a lot of time trying to figure out what is wrong. So it's a great puzzle, very challenging but very interesting to solve, and also very good looking one. The name of the next puzzle is Kraft, which translates from Dutch to English as a lobster. I guess the puzzle reminds you a little bit of a lobster. The puzzle was designed by Alphonse Eichmans, and it was made using 3 different types of wood, Venge, Acacia and Purple Heart. The Kraft puzzle has 9 parts, 7 of them are uniquely shaped and 2 parts are identical. This puzzle requires 26 steps to take it apart and 26 more steps to assemble it again. The disassembling of this puzzle isn't extremely difficult, and I would say it is quite logical, since you can see a progress, like some of the parts are coming out more and more and then you remove them, but the assembling will be much harder, especially if you mix the parts and leave them for a couple of days, or if you don't pay a lot of attention on which part goes first and which you remove last, so it will be much more difficult to assemble. The name of the next puzzle is Rug Rug. It was also designed by Alphonse Eichmans. This puzzle was made using 2 different types of wood, Venge and Limba. The Rug Rug puzzle has 18 parts, 6 of them are darker color parts made from Venge and 12 parts are made from Limba, they have lighter color. And it looks like this puzzle is made from 2 burr puzzles that are connected together in a very intricate way. The Rug Rug puzzle requires 32 steps to take it apart and 32 more steps to assemble it back together. The disassembling won't be terribly hard. It is possible to take it apart without using any help, but the assembling will be a real nightmare. I had to disassemble the puzzle to take photos for the Pelikan's website, and the assembling was so hard. Even with board tools, I spent a lot of time since there are too many parts here, and when you have like 6 or 7 parts in your hands and they are not connected properly yet, if you do a wrong move, everything falls apart and you still have to add more parts. So the assembling is really challenging even with board tools. I think that you can easily guess the name of the next puzzle. You're right, it is Rhino. This puzzle was designed by Theo Gehring and it was made from American walnut and a tiny piece of maple for the horn of the rhino. This puzzle requires 14 steps to take it apart and 14 more steps to assemble it back together. At first glance, it may look like a simple Kumiki style puzzle where it is very straightforward to take apart and assemble back together the puzzle, but actually this one is a little bit more difficult since when you try to remove any of the parts, you won't succeed since you have to find the correct piece where you start first, and then there are still a couple of tricky moves that are necessary to take the puzzle apart. And when you assemble everything back together, you have to know the correct sequence in which order to put parts together, since you can put like almost all parts and you will find that it is not possible to put the last a couple of pieces to the puzzle, and you have to disassemble almost everything and start over to assemble the rhino back together. And the name of the last puzzle in this release is Who Filled the Sorter Cube? It was designed by Dr. Volker Latusek, and this puzzle was made from many different types of wood. Some of them are Wenge, maple, American walnut, and others. This puzzle looks like a joke since it feels like somebody stuck 6 parts and then glued a frame around them. And there is no way you will be able to remove any of the parts. There are actually 6 parts inside. I will show you the photo of all parts. You can see here all different kinds of shapes with 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 and infinite number of corners. And they look quite simple when they are outside the box. But when they're inside of the box, you will find that it is impossible to remove any of them, since when you want to remove one of the parts, there is always another part that blocks the entrance. You can rotate it to the other side and still it will be exactly the same situation here. One of the parts will be blocking the entrance and you won't be able to remove the rest of the parts. Even though this puzzle looks extremely difficult, it is one of those puzzles that you can play for 30 minutes, for an hour, a couple of hours, and then you will be able to remove one of the parts and you will be like, wow, how is it even possible? And then you will be able to remove the rest of the parts and you will understand how it was actually possible to solve the puzzle. So it's a great puzzle, very good looking one, and highly recommended for your puzzle collection. And now the most important part, the date and time of the release. It will happen in just 2 days on Wednesday, December 6th at 10 p.m. Central European Time. This time, all of you, my American friends, don't have to wake up early in the morning to buy some puzzles, but my Indian friend, you have to wake up pretty early to buy the puzzle. Anyways, don't forget to set up alarms so you don't miss a chance to buy these amazing puzzles. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.